Yes, I think it was partly due to my ignorance though.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay, so essentially I was talking to this girl a while, years ago, and got a hotel, everything. Picked her up, took her on a date, went back to the hotel. We had sex, but like it was really dry, like very, very dry. But afterwards, like, and I had never had that happen before, so it threw me off. Like I was like it really threw me off because I didn't know what was going on. Like I just didn't know what to think. Like I was completely ignorant on it. So I pretty much ghosted her and never talked to her again. Yeah.
Part where like you gotta have those uncomfortable conversations, and I know like that probably messed up sex for y'all at that time, unless y'all both could have talked it out, grabbed some food and like maybe tried it again. But sometimes when things like that happen, it kind of kills the whole night. For women, I know at least sometimes.
I was never the type to be like date a girl, have sex with her, and just ghost her. That's not even who I am or who I was.
Right.
That situation, for something, it was something about it. It just made me feel like real, like, awkward.
Times that we were dating a woman and she started during sex, right? Neither one of us told her the reason why we stopped is because she started. And for y'all, if y'all are dealing with anything out there where you're in a situation and you know you want to tell somebody something, but you're kind of nervous for how they're going to feel, to be honest, it is always going to be awkward. But as long as you're doing it in a respectful way for the most part, and the other person is in a good headspace to receive it, I would just be honest with people. We've been ghosted before.
We have been ghosted.
And like with this whole, like, I don't know if there's anyone, or just people, I mean, y'all can relate, because if anyone's dating, you can relate. But one thing that's been bothering me about like us dating and having like our experiences is if there's, or anybody, even if it's a friend or somebody you're trying to date, is if you don't like something about somebody, or for some reason if you're just having a different opinion, then just say something. Because the one girl that we were talking to, like the conversation was great. Like the messages were back to back. They weren't like one worded, because like that's like a big, like if you're just gonna send me one word, I'm already done with the conversation. Because apparently you're not trying to engage in the conversation, and it's like no point. But she was doing all that. We talked on the phone. She was cool. Like everything was great. And then for her to make plans for another day and then not follow through, and then like kind of like block us or follow up the side of the word. Yeah, it's like, because it also makes the other person like
did you
you made me feel worse not telling me why you're not talking to me, versus if you were just like, hey guys, I'm not really feeling this idea, or I'm uncomfortable. Because a lot of women, they're very nervous. And I understand, because I think I tell you this all the time. If I was a single woman coming into a relationship with a couple, I would be very nervous, and I don't think I would do it.
Poly can be cringy online, depending on how much you like. There's some couples out there, like their content is super cringy, and it's just like, it don't make it. I'm poly and I don't even want to be poly. Pretty much overhearing that girl talk about her date with a guy, and long story short, she pretty much went on a date with a guy. The date was dope. She said the guy was attractive. It was one small thing that turned her completely off, and that was his laugh.
Yep.
And I'm like, bruh, like, you sound crazy right now. But I was also playing devil's advocate in my own brain as I was.
Cause you're like, well.
Cause I'm like, yo, if the dude showed up to the table and he started like laughing wild,
what's a wild laugh?
Like if I was to go on a date with a girl and we go out to eat and we're ordering dinner, and then we say a joke, you know, let's say the waiter asks, what type of meat, you know, would you like on that? Oh, she loves her meat, and she laughs and she's like, like that would blow me. Like,
but I have two different types of sneezes, and some people think one of my sneezes sound cute because it sounds like I'm moaning, but then there's a sneeze where, and there's sometimes a sneeze where, right, but it feels so good and it comes out naturally. And there's some sneezes that just don't come out like that, or like just the nasty ones. So it really just depends. But like even the moaning part, like that could become annoying to somebody. Some people think it's cute.
Your
some people think it's annoying,
bro.
See?
It is,
but it's like it's coming from the.
Hey, just
soul.
like good sex ain't supposed to sound good either. Like if you ain't in there, your voice ain't breaking and cracking and falling apart, then you ain't doing.
There's one time I felt like I sound like a pterodactyl, and I was like, this cannot be sexy. What happened is that people are quick to go with the toxic person that clearly has 5 red flags up front, but then they have maybe 2, like let's say they have 5 cons and 2 pros. They're like, oh, these pros could be really good, and outside of these pros, they have like 6 potentials. But because they never get to their potentials, they still go with the person that has the most cons. And then there's people that have 5 pros, 1 con, which is a laugh, 6 to 3 potentials, and you won't choose them.